Welcome back. Welcome back. It's another episode of FactYoFeelings.
We back in here. It's still trending out there.
We in a hidden location. We can't give up any information about our whereabouts or who we are.
Oh, yeah.
If you see these people out on the street, this is all AI generated. Let's go. Who's first?
All right. Oh, yeah, definitely. I didn't notice it. All right. Okay.
Anybody? Because I got it.
Go right ahead.
Let's start there. I'm gonna cut you off because this pissed me off. Did y'all hear about this Black Panther party dude?
Yeah,
no,
I've seen that.
I didn't hear anything.
No.
I've seen it. It looks like a caricature of Black Panthers. But go ahead. I'm sure you got a hot take on it.
Yeah, I got a conspiracy theory behind it because it's just like it was so stupid and so out of the blue that it was like, hey man, who does this stuff? So, and Kate, you are familiar with who the Black Panthers are?
Yeah.
Okay. So this guy, after the shooting takes place, and actually it wasn't the shooting. It was prior to that at the Renee Good. This guy comes out and claims that he's got a new, I guess, Black Panther sector out.
He said it's a continuation of the original. It's just they never went away.
Yeah, he said that, but
That's just what he said.
Yeah, he came out and he was wolfing mad garbage, man. He came out and said some things that are, to me, was suspect because he made a comment that if he get approached by any ICE officer or if they try to take him in, and that he was going to put a hole in him the size of a window. And he used that safe line repair. He used that joke in order to comment on it. But how he kept going in talking about, so we need to protect these people and make sure they get to where they have to go and all this other stuff. It was kind of like, okay, number one, that's stupid. But number two is, well, actually, this would be number one, that it was really stupid was the fact that you're making open threat on camera to a federal agency. And it's, that's just so out of place. The original Black Panthers, yeah, they made threats, but we're talking about going back to the 60s when they did it and where gun laws and everything else was completely different. But under this current environment and all the stuff that's going on, for somebody to come out and say, yeah, we're the Black Panthers and we're looking out for other people and everybody need to join in with this mentality of, we're going to get out there and have a shootout with ICE. I'm like, nah, this dude is a plant. It's like somebody gave this dude some money and told him to go out there and raise ruckus in order to get people out here in the street to get them killed so there will be riots. And I was like, I tried thinking of every other way, like, yeah, maybe dude is just stupid, but you just can't be that stupid. The Black Panther Party was originated to actually do something for Black people. It was never constructed to go out and start looking out for everybody else's needs because, Black people had it bad enough. And not only that, it was for education of young Blacks. It was for help feeding Black communities. And it was making sure that Black people got justice and didn't get beat by the cops, which happened on a regular basis back in the day. And this stuff right here, like what's going on in Minnesota, that has nothing to do with any Black nothing. So the fact that this dude will pop up with the beret, the leather jacket, and the guns, and he got his little 6 goofies walking behind him, and to be honest with you, it looked like can't none of them fight. I guarantee you ain't none of them been in a real fight. And he's talking about, oh, we about to start putting holes in people's chests. I'm like, man.
With the black guy?
Yeah, well, no, he's not even Black. They said that he might be mixed with Puerto Rican or something. He don't look Black. He got the, the super extra wavy head. Not like yours, could, but he got the super extra wavy head, and dude he don't look Black. He looked like he mixed with something.
He's probably mixed. I didn't look into it. When I saw it, I don't even know how to describe what my actual reaction was because it was like. It was almost like I guess, and like I didn't pay it no mind because I'm like you said, it just doesn't seem real. Like it don't, like it's just like the boldness that he had when, saying, that he'll, like you said, put a hole in somebody, an ICE agent, the size of a window if they run up on them, whatever. It's like you have, like, under what grounds? What do you think is going to happen after that? It's like, so I don't know. I don't know what they are, what their real intentions are, and what they, what they plan to do, what effects they have, they plan to make. I didn't really look into it. I saw it and I was like, that's crazy. And I just kept scrolling.
I have no idea. I'm lost on this one. So I have.
It's all good. It's just to me, like you said, you would have naturally passed it up, but there would have been some people that would have looked at that and been like, oh yeah, this is our opportunity to be a Black Panther. Somebody is going to take that on because, like I said, if he got 6 goofies following behind him, somebody took the bait. So it's just to me like, it sounds like you're trying to gather up more like-minded individuals to go out and do something that would cause a bigger problem. And I was like, that's definitely the route that you want to go. If you want to do something, go make a threat to any federal agent. It could be the postman. Go threaten the mailman. If you want to get locked up, that's the surefire way to do it. And back in the day when that organization existed, along with several others, because they were different chapters, all spread out throughout the United States, the Fred Hamptons, you name it. It's like the FBI had a list on them they had people embedded within the organization that was giving up information. So those files never went away. It's not like they just closed the books on the Black Panthers because there's still Black Panthers that exist to this day. But when you get up and start saying like, oh yeah, I'm still the original Black Panther, they just gonna go to the old file book and start, okay, let's put them in page, 319. You going right here. And,
What? I think, now that I'm thinking a little bit more on it, I feel like I saw somewhere, again, I didn't look into it, I probably just came across it, where one of the ladies, I forget her name.
Oh, one of the CP Newton niece, I think it was.
I'm not sure, but she was one of the OG ladies that I've seen a few times in regards to Black Panthers who are still alive and just kicking out there. And I feel like she said something to the effect of, like, I don't know who this dude is. I'm not sure. Like I said, I feel like I read it and kept scrolling, or because I'm like, is it like, once I saw it, I was like, yeah, that sounded about right. Like, who the hell is this dude? Like, he just pop up out of nowhere. I'm like, I've never heard of him. All of a sudden, he on the internet with a rifle. Like,
so do you think like the Black Panther now, at least from what we see, I mean, I can clearly say they are not the same Black Panther from back then, because we all know some of them was embedded with the the CIA and the
CIA, FBI,
and how they infiltrated some of the Black people and disassembled some of the organizations in which they had from the Black Panther information. I think some of it may be tied back to Malcolm X in some way, shape, or form, at least back then, because now we don't see it as much, but I think it's just more of a power push now, but then it's not as the same as, when we was growing up. Well, at least me, I mean.
Yeah. It was I want to say during that whole era, because you had different leaders that were I won't say they were exposed, but they were investigated. And they were looking at it then as domestic terrorism based on the laws that Hoover set out, J. Edgar Hoover. So J. Edgar Hoover was in charge of the FBI at that time, and they had this program called COINTELPRO. And COINTELPRO investigated every Black person that spoke out, whether it was about race, activism, religion, you name it. They had a file on them. And he, J. Edgar Hoover openly admits this, like, yeah, I ain't had no problem, keeping an eye on what was going on. But it was definitely to the point where you wouldn't have made it out there without having some type of paperwork on you. And that never ended. They was like, those files and everything that they had for the FBI, those things still exist. So the fact that, again, like I said, what raised my ears up was the fact that somebody would come out and say something like that. And to me, I didn't take it serious. Like, all of a sudden people are going to, start putting on the berets and leather jackets, even though I do have one. It fits quite nice. But, nobody's going to run out and do that just because some dude out of the blue decides to start screaming Black Panther. And again, like I said, I just thought it was interesting. But he got dogged out.
Yeah, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't pay it no extra mind. So I was just like, hey.
Yeah, I'll
this
probably
age,
look them up after, but
yeah, in this age and that people will just do whatever to get, some kind of recognition or renown for whatever they got going on. So, who knows?
alrighty. Well, speaking of, the ICE and the federal agent, do you think it got any better since our last conversation?
I want my $5. That's $10.
I never disagreed that it was gonna get worse.
I
knew.
But not to the magnitude. I think it's getting.
We all knew it was just it's gonna continue to degrade. The situation is just gonna keep getting worse and worse until.
But why do you think?
I don't know.
Why do you think it's only happening in Minnesota?
Because they try to hide that $9 billion they done stole.
You know what?
I'd have burnt them. I'd have burnt Minnesota would have been a crisp right now, and I got accused of stealing $9 billion. I've been on a flight somewhere. Minnesota is burnt down.
Like all of a sudden, we talking about the fraud and everything else that's going on, uncovering documents, Leering Center, and now this is the topic of the news.
But I don't want to. That's hard because two people lost their lives.
Yeah,
so to minimize their lives being lost to a subterfuge.
Don't do it.
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that
Yeah.
is out of this world a possibility. But I'm just saying at the same time, like these two people still lost their lives in this thing, and they were still. People like we said in this last time, like she was a mother, she had kids and people that loved her and stuff. And whether you want to believe that this is all a diversion outside of that, it's like that's still a life that's been lost and has an effect on people that are still living. Same thing with this young man that just got murdered in the middle of the street. Like he's got a family, and it's just like
He does.
And this one is just. Definitely wild. Like they immediately, and the thing that trips me out so much with the government and this administration in particular is they have like not necessarily the policies that they put out or the executive orders that he may be signing in the law or whatever. It's the control, the narrative control that they have and how quick they are to jump on anything and immediately make sure that, hey, this is going to read how we want it to read. And that's going to be the first thing that you hear before you hear anything else. So it's like they immediately put their spin on it, their take on it, and it's more effective and more efficient from my perspective than any other administration that I've been cognizant of as far as my lifetime and paying attention to politics, as far as when something happens, how quick and how fervent they are and how vehemently they are to, paint their opposition as the worst of the worst. Not necessarily just, the other side of the table, but hey, these people hate America, hate me, hate you, hate, all this other stuff. And it's just like, it gets pushed out so quickly and so powerfully that that's the first thing that we see and that we ingest after an incident like this. So then by the time the facts come out, people's opinions are already swayed one way or the other. So then now when the facts are out, you looking at it through the lens of, either doubt because you don't want to believe, if it happens to skew towards the side that you're against, or complete just fall into it and without any necessarily needing any extra proof because it's the opposite of what your opposition is saying. So it's like, with this in particular, they immediately painted him as he's a domestic terrorist, and he went out there with the intent to shoot down these police officers, and he attacked them, and he put their lives in danger, and he was posing a threat to them. Before I even saw one angle of the video where I couldn't really see nothing, and then that was all the things that I was seeing their portrait of the event, and then later on I start seeing better angles and all this other stuff, and it's like, hey, that's not what they said happened is not what happened in the video.
What you saw happen.
Yeah. So it's like that's crazy how quickly they are to jump on stuff. And it's like, before it was like, as far as I'm aware of, it was always, it's an active investigation, so we're not saying anything until we get some more facts and we get some more witnesses and stuff. We're not putting out a public statement. This is all we got. We got a suspect that, and this has happened, and that. But not this administration. They don't care about none of that, the niceties and the journalistic etiquette and all of that stuff. Is like, hey, no, we don't need no evidence. We don't need no, the investigation. We're gonna say what we want the people to believe immediately, regardless of whether or not it's backed up by facts or not. And I can guarantee you, they're not gonna walk it back.
Oh no, they never walk it back. So, and to your point, real quick, when you said, you said this is the first time that you paid attention to it and witnessed it.
Not necessarily the first time I paid attention, but it's the most effective that I've seen, and to this level.
I think that's because of now we are in this society now where news travels at the speed of light. So anybody can pick up now a cell phone. There was 100 cell phones out there record. Well, I won't say 100, but there was a lot of cell phones out there recording versus to back in the day where they could properly set up a story when they had like a news camera or some, maybe some accidental incident. Perfect example is JFK. So JFK was shot in the head, and dude just so happened to be standing on the block recording it with an 8mm camera. But when they reported it, and this was done by, what was dude's name? It wasn't Walter Cronkite. It was Dan Rather. Dan Rather reported. You can go listen to it. And he said, dude was struck in the back of the head and he lurched forward violently. And people bought that for years. That happened in 1963. And it wasn't until 1976 where people actually saw the actual video, and his head did nothing like that. So it's been lying since recorded time. And you can go through all the 70s where you had Nixon lying about stuff. You can go through the 80s where you had Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan lying about stuff. You can go through the 90s when you had George Bush and Bill Clinton who got on there. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Flat out lied, and pointing people thinking like, oh, so it's not like this is anything new or grabbing hold of a narrative. And to be in a political space, I understand why they would do it if that's the game that you're playing. So if it was me, most definitely I would want to get in front of the story and push the narrative that I want to push, so it doesn't make me look bad. Because the opposition is going to do the same thing. The opposition is going to sit there and tell you that, oh, no, this is what happened, and blah, 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 and such and such. How many people got that COVID shot? I was like, so they told you that came from a bat and a pangolin. I still never to this day seen a pangolin in real life. But they said that's what happened. And what did they do? Everybody went out. If you didn't agree with it, I know people that got kicked off of Facebook. I know people that got kicked off. They shut you down. So it's like.
But those lies are different. Those weren't as politicized and party, like pitting parties against each other. Those were like, these are incidents that happen, and we want to take control of it before it starts going crazy. I'm talking about just as soon as an incident happening, especially when it concerns the death of a United States citizen. like immediately, not even taking the time to say, unfortunately we lost, this person died or whatever in the incident, and this should not have happened, and we should have avoided all of this. None of that was said.
Okay.
It was immediately, oh, this person was a domestic terrorist and they were out there, blah 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 blah.
Pushing
It's
the
like,
narrative.
That's what you're saying.
it's like that's like they are on top of it when it comes to that, and it's just like it's crazy.
It is, but again, if we want to talk game facts, I understand why. I understand
No,
the
I
game
mean,
and why
yeah,
and why you would have to.
Your end goal is to continue this division that's already been been permeating throughout our culture for however many years.
Oh,
Since
it's been decades.
since what?
Definitely, it just like even now, I kind of feel like they have a playbook ready for the news media to put out as fast as it does hit. Like, hey, this finna happen. Like, we need to get a press conference ready. We need to have this person ready to respond to this, respond to that. Like, like you said, it just be so fast when it comes out, and you have all this information, so many different angles. But I don't like how some of the camera footage leak out slower than the information itself. Like you said, like you put out that information without seeing the footage yet. Like you talked about JFK, like you put the headlines out, and some people are front page readers. They only read the front page, don't even open up the newspaper or the magazine to get the detailed. But I mean, it just now I kind of feel like, or I'm starting to really feel like some of these, protesters that are going out there interfering with ICE investigation. I don't even think they care about the people that get killed. Renee Good and what's the guy that just got killed?
Alex Preddy.
I don't even think they care about them at all. I mean, yeah, they have a candlelight and a prayer, but they go right back to it.
Yeah,
they go right back to protesting, even when
they do it in their name.
Yeah. And they do it in their name, and they get a shirt, and it's like...
But that wasn't the original reason for you standing out there in the first place. That's the part I don't think people even know why they're out there.
That too. And some of them get approached by ICE agent. I know some of you guys probably saw the video of the ICE agent telling the people, hey, we're trying to go arrest this person that assaulted a kid or did this or robbed a bank. We have a warrant for his arrest. Here's the paperwork. He's been in the country for 2 years. We've been trying to get him out the country. And they just look dead in their face. We still going to investigate. We still going to stop you. And I'm like, if you believe ICE agents are that evil and that demonic, like, where was this outrage during Obama? I know I got to keep bringing that up. I have to keep bringing it up, and some people still going to be like, well, it wasn't as bad as Obama because everybody was cooperating with Obama. All those cages and stuff we see in the picture, those were built by Obama. All the kids and stuff inside those cages. And those pictures, Obama. There's videos out there right now on the internet where you can go look up where they're doing a report. They feeding us maggots. 67 people died in ICE custody under Obama. Where was the outrage for that?
Now, you know why is and I was sitting there doing a hard research on that too, because I thought it was interesting. Now, Obama did have protesters out. There was some here in Chicago, so he did have protesters out. But you had minute. It wasn't near to the extent that it is today. It wasn't. You didn't have people. Well, the one I saw, actually, I saw a couple of them. You had some people blocking traffic and causing a ruckus, but it didn't last long.
I remember seeing a couple.
Yeah, but do you think it's like because? I mean, I'm gonna say it. Do you think people are really not saying it, but putting it out there with their body and making themselves present in front of these ICE agents? It's okay if it happened under a Democrat.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that point, too, is that by reading it, you'll find out that a lot of people, especially the Republicans, they didn't want to touch. They didn't have a problem with it to begin with, but the ones that did, it's like it was no way they were going to say anything because the first thing they was going to label out of their mouth, which they admit to, is that they were going to be called racist because Obama said it. And they said that traveled through in a lot of decisions that were made during his presidency because it's like, why even go poke that bear? Why go up against this dude if the first thing they're going to scream out is racist and, that's it for us? So that same thing is like they didn't want to sit there and oppose that dude judgment. And, you know, to his credit, like I said, I never had a problem with Obama. I don't think he was the greatest everybody made him out to be. But to his credit, when he explained why there was a need for immigration laws and everything, I wish they could just play that back over the air instead of having Trump say it.
They are. I've been seeing the video
Well,
all
no,
over the internet.
They're doing it in comparison.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if he could elaborate and just be like, if Trump got on the news one day and be like, okay, guys, you know what? You don't like me. You don't like the way I talk. I'm just going to let Obama say it. Obama, you say it. And then Obama get up there, look, see, because people crossing the border, can't have them cross the border because we don't have enough money to pay for everything. So keep your ass out, and you cross the border, I'm kicking your ass out. So if he had explained it like that, then it'd been like everybody would have been cool. Or he could just bring Obama up. Hey, tell him what you told him back in 2008 or 2015.
Yeah, but you know, these people, they Obama, the king of the crop. You can't say nothing against Obama. You will be labeled as a racist, or he's a black guy. You can't say that because but it's like now I'm just like, you know, I'll even go back to Bill Clinton. It was some record that Bill Clinton deportated 12 million.
Yeah, that wasn't physical. Yeah, it was Bill Clinton.
I know it was some physically walked out. I guess or something along that line. I don't know.
It was 12 million though.
Yeah,
it was under that, but he didn't put. It wasn't the hands-on put out. As a matter of fact, he did about the same amount, maybe a little less than Obama. But a lot of that,
it wasn't ICE though.
No, it wasn't ICE. But
ICE is new. ICE is relatively new. I think it was after 9/11, right?
Yes.
It got started because of 9/11.
Yeah, and then now you get Tom Homey, and people starting to play the videos of Obama giving him an award for doing a very good job, and some people are going to be like, well, you know, why you not mad at Tom Homey then? Like, he doing the exact same job he was sworn in the office to do by Obama.
I done heard this dude get called all types of races and other. I'm like, you do realize that Obama hired him, right?
So... Well, even that, like, it's even now, I know Alex, like, from a black person, I would not be out there with a concealed carry.
Thank you.
As a black person, I would not be out there with a concealed carry doing any of that. Do you know what can happen? I can get shot.
Would you go to a protest with a firearm?
So I've been like in my head going back and forth on this exact topic because I'm like, I knew it was going to come up and I knew it was going to be something we were going to talk about.
I'm glad you knew.
So it's another one of them things. I'm like cursed with this.
But hold on, you have the right to conceal your carry.
No, I got you. I'm going. I'm cursed with this requirement from myself to look at things from all different angles, and I can't turn it off for some reason. So, as a black man, absolutely not. From now, as anybody, as anybody,
would you advise any man, Chinese, white? Okay,
I'm like, as anybody, like, absolutely not. A protest is one thing. But when you are, if you take this exact example, this exact situation, absolutely not. I do not think it is smart to even put yourself in this position. It's similar to my stance on the Renee Good situation. I do not think it's smart to put yourself in harm's way, regardless of the how passionate you are about what it is that you're protesting for. Now, if you want to look at the fact that he had a legal right to carry a gun as a person who also has a legal right to carry a gun, who also does not leave the house without my firearm, I go everywhere with it. I don't care what I'm doing or where I'm going, as long as it's in a legal. I'm not going in a federal building, school, hospital, blah 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 blah. If I'm going about my way, you see me outside, I got a gun on me. Period. Now, I have the right to do that. I paid my doggone money, all this money that I paid to to pay for the right to exercise my constitutional right, which is crazy in and of itself. It's like I thought we was born with these rights after they put that stuff in the document. But hey, I went along with the state and federal guidelines, and I paid all this money to take these classes and to be able to have the right to carry my gun, within a responsibility and a legal manner. In this particular situation, he was not posing a threat to these ICE agents. He was standing there recording. If you look at the video, this man was recording. The ICE agents approached them as they were standing off to the side, and they began to, I don't know if it was a woman. I think there was a woman that they were initially approaching. But, and I think they pepper sprayed her first. And he's like, got his hands up, and he's like, hey, it's okay. We cool. We're going to back up. It's all right. It's okay or whatever. And they tackle him to the ground, which, I mean, hey, was that necessary? Who knows? Whatever reason they felt the need to go over there and approach them, whether it was because they actually were impeding something, which we have no evidence of one way or the other, or whether it's not, they feel like they are in this position where they have carte blanche immunity, which they damn near do, the way that Trump is putting it out there. So it's like, hey, we don't like the fact that they over here protesting and blowing these whistles and doing this stuff, so let's get them out of here. I'm like, hey, I don't agree with it, but at the same time, I'll speak up for the fact that you have the right to protest, as long as you're not, putting anybody in physical danger, which it didn't look like they were doing. Whether or not I agree with, what they're protesting about, that's irrelevant. They got the right to do it. That's the very First Amendment.
Okay.
And then we got that Second Amendment for a reason. Like Dave Chappelle
protect all the other amendments.
Right. So it's like, hey, he was exercising his First and his Second Amendment, and they didn't like it. So he's dead because of it. Now you can put all the spin on it, and hey, you dumb for having a firearm out there in the first place. That may very well be true, but having a firearm is not illegal and is not a death sentence, especially when you have the right to do so. And he wasn't, as far as we could see, he wasn't doing anything illegal.
No, my question is this: you had a gun on you at a protest. To me, that just rings stupidity, because the question now lies is, if it's such a peaceful protest, these people out here are not doing anything, and you know that you're going to go into a crowd of people, why take a gun with you? That's number one. Number two, if something had broke off and you're at a protest, meaning that you brought that gun there for a reason, and stuff goes bad, who are you going to shoot at? You going to shoot at other protesters, or are you going to shoot at ICE? Number three is, like you had mentioned the other day, and was a very great point that I don't think I ever thought of, because I'm shooting to get out. But if you shoot somebody and either miss or it goes through somebody, now somebody that didn't have nothing to do with this gets injured, and you're not really thinking on a responsibility level. Like I said, there's no way I would advise anybody to go out and take a gun to a protest. What if dude got jumped by other protesters, like Kyle Rittenhouse did, and he had to sit there and use his gun? I'm like, okay, so you're willing to take that risk, and again, for what? You went to this lady's aid who, yes, got knocked down, sprayed in the face with pepper spray. She's not going to die. You went to go help her pick up, but dude specifically told you, stay out of it. It seems to me also is that everybody keeps talking about these protests, but when you actually look up the protest rules, none of this shit is legal. What they're doing, none of it is legal. So now you're placed in a position with people that don't have good training. They've given guns, they're given badges, and they're given an objective to go take care of something. And your first idea is to be like, man, where my gun at? Let me go out here to this protest. You don't have your permit on you. You got a loaded gun. You didn't comply. You didn't follow orders. And now you shot. Now it's somebody else's fault. And again, it goes back to the same thing with Renee Good. What would have happened instead of you getting the idea of driving in front of some ICE officers that are doing their job? Because by law, if you go look up the law, which many people won't, they're actually doing their job. It's not your job to go out and get in front of them and talk shit. Yeah, you can protest, but there are actually laws that follow within that. But to get out in front of somebody and do something stupid, and then when the bear bites you, now all of a sudden you're mad about it, now all of a sudden they're wrong for reacting. I don't know if people talk to enough cops to sit there and try to get an understanding, a breakdown of what they actually go through. And I'm kind of like thrown off by people saying like, well, if they don't like their job, then they shouldn't do it. I'm like, okay, then if they're not going to do it, then who is going to do it? We just let the world go into chaos and let everything. Like I said, I know good cops. I know cops. I know firemen. I know people that will jump in front of a bullet to save your life right now would be the same people that they'll be out there protesting. And to me, it's like, that's not right. But to take a loaded weapon into an already hotbed, a hot environment, and then claim that, I'm here. Why do you need the gun? It's a peaceful process.
Well,
peaceful protest. That's what they label it.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, dude was on Tim Walz was on the news talking shit, and there's a big ass poster behind him that says "Kill ICE."
Yeah.
Yeah. He's inflaming the story. He playing this role.
But I mean, to answer your original
ahead,
question, the first question that you posed, like, hey, it's a peaceful situation. You there, peacefully. Why do you need your gun? Are you the same reason you got your gun here?
We on the south side right now. We ain't at a protest.
Still,
it could be a protest, but right now we out here.
The point is, you are in the company of friends, family, loved ones.
I don't trust your cat. He might get it. He got like 3 lives left. But I'm not going. I ain't afraid of anybody here either attacking me or doing any harm to me.
Right
now, I will protect your door nonstop. Nigga, I'll be the first one going out.
That's my point, though. It's like you take your gun with you because that's what he does. I'm assuming. I would assume. There's no way for me to know for sure, but I would assume that if a person has a concealed carry license, 9 times out of 10, when you walk out the door, you got it with you.
He didn't have his with him.
What you mean?
He didn't have any identification.
No. I'm talking about your gun.
Yeah, but that's part of the responsibility lesson here. It's like when you leave the house, do you check and make sure that your ID is in the wallet?
No, I know it's in there.
Okay, but
it should not.
It should not. But just for that case of something that happened, I would just say, but you're sure that it's in your wallet.
But I mean, I'm like,
okay, let me
boil all of it down. Him having a gun on him is completely irrelevant.
Okay, not in your eyes.
He didn't get shot holding a gun on him. He didn't get shot because he was pointing a gun at somebody. He didn't get shot because somebody said, "Oh, he has a gun. He's aiming it at somebody. He needs to be taken out." He didn't pose a threat to anybody. By the time they unloaded 12, 13 shots on him, the gun was taken off of his body.
Real quick,
already.
And if you know some cops, go ask a cop. When you're patting somebody down, I don't care who it is, it can be a grandmama, and somebody locates a gun on a person, they instantly become a threat. And I ain't talking about a number 2 or a number 3 threat. I'm talking about all 5, DEFCON. Mm-hmm. They become a threat. I don't care who you are. And any police officer is going to know that if I'm patting you down if it's a traffic stop and I feel a gun on you, oh, you become a threat. You become a threat.
Yeah, you become a threat. But at the same time, it's like he's not... Like I said, the gun was already taken off of him. He did not have the gun on him anymore for about a good 2 seconds before they started shooting. I'm like the cop that it looked like fired the first shot. Like,
yeah, I still don't know where that came from. Who fired?
Yeah, it looked like somebody grabbed the gun from him and walked off.
One of the cops, the cop that saw it. He went for the gun and he took it off of him. Yeah. And when he took it off of him, he turned around and he started walking away. And then that's when you start hearing gunshots. So my issue is like, hey, this man was not a threat at that point. And even before then, he was not displaying any aggressive movements. He was not approaching. He was not just being violent in any way. He was trying to assist the woman off of the ground that they had just pepper sprayed, which I'm like, I think is not an issue especially considering the fact that he's an ICU nurse. I'm like, he sees somebody on the ground and in pain, like his instinct is to jump in and try to assist this person, which I got no problem with. And you want to go back a little further, from the video, it looked like they were standing off to the side. It didn't look like they were being, violent. Didn't like they were throwing anything. Mm-hmm. So what reason was the like I said earlier, what reason did ICE have to approach them and start pepper spraying in the first place, other than the fact that they feel emboldened, by knowing that they got the president behind them and they can do whatever the fuck they want to do, and the president just gonna be like, all right, cool, I sent them there to do this. They do whatever the hell they gotta do.
Right.
So it's like it's a whole bunch of things that combined with bad choices of taking a gun out to a protest, combined with lack of training, because I'm pretty sure a lot of these ICE agents, they seen them, them bonus advertisements. Hey, join ICE and you make $135,000 a year,
man.
And then if you get relocated, you get a 25% bonus right off top. So I'm like, hey, how soon between them pressing to apply? What's the timeline between that and them being on the streets looking for people? Who knows?
47 days. Yeah, that's once you hit the classroom,
right?
Even here in
it's like
city.
And then they don't like, what training do they have to de-escalate situations?
Absolutely.
And it's just like, that is my interpretation, of what everything I've seen as far as law enforcement goes. Their first objective is de-escalation. And that does not seem like what their objective is in these instances, for the most part. Yeah. Obviously, we're not going to see every single interaction with between ICE and...
Back to the point real quick of what were they doing? The lady was in the street blocking traffic. That's what initially caused them to tell her to move aside. The dude walked behind and was filming it with his camera. That's how he wound up on that side of the street before they had pepper sprayed old girl and pushed her down, and then he interacted. So it was a point where they was trying to clear the street and get everybody out, which again, like, why would you go standing? It would be better if this was all the case then for like the mayor or somebody to come out and say, hey, no more protesting. Just end it, because people are getting hurt.
They can't do that though.
Oh, they can. They choose not to.
Only way that they could do that is if they were to initiate some kind of martial law or a citywide lockdown.
So who's better in that scenario? People continue to let people get shot and killed on the streets, or just shut everything down and let everybody go about their business? And I guess that would be a real question posed to them. Do we want to keep doing this and keep having people go out and do stupid shit because apparently they're not listening to reason?
But I mean, if they are doing that with the intent to stop people from protesting, then you are flirting with, obstructing the First Amendment.
No.
Yeah. If you are imposing martial law and lockdowns with the sole and purpose of stopping people from protesting because you feel like things are getting out of hand,
I don't think they're not. You want to know why? I don't think they're not. Look at the.
But the whole thing is, my point is, on like, when you're doing that with the intent to prevent people from protesting, that goes into obstructing the First Amendment. Like, you're impeding their ability to practice their First Amendment and go out and protest. Wow. Regardless of what the outcome of it is, these people still have the right to protest.
Okay, so let's do this then. Let's look up the definition of peaceful protest, which is and tell Tim Walz or whoever's in charge, you must now follow the protest laws. And by protest laws, if there's more than 50 people, now you need a permit in order to protest. You have to stand on the sidewalk and be X amount of distance away from law enforcement. You can't block traffic. You can't impede on them. You can't run up on them. You can't do any of that. So why not just go ahead and enforce those laws? That way we're not breaking the First Amendment. You can stand on the sidewalk with as many signs as you want and do whatever. Okay, well, maybe they should do that then.
I agree. I got no problem with that.
It's the fact that I don't think any of, like, martial law, I don't think any of that going to happen, because if that was the case, they would have been doing it when the Black Lives Matter protests were going out with George Floyd. They didn't impose any martial law. They was allowed to tear up the street, destroy business.
They didn't do that because it was black people.
But you know.
Wait, you said what you say? What you say?
It was black people.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not.
Well, why you throw the air quotes in there real
Because
quick?
there wasn't no black people actually out there. The ones
Who stole the ATM off of Stony Island?
47. I was over there.
Yeah, who stole? Well, I'm not even talking. I'm talking about the ones on 87.
Another one?
Yeah. Who shut down Jules? Because I ain't seen no white folks when I was sitting there mad as
I'm
hell.
talking about the protest during Black
But
Lives
it's-
Matter. That
well,
was a black event, so that's why
It was
Okay,
like
I wanted to
like
know.
man, when they would protest here in the city,
Man, they tore
and they would
stuff
tore up everything, all on the news. People were driving around in their car, getting footage. They were going into stores, beauty supplies, tearing up everything. stealing
Yeah,
all
Kimberwood Liquor
and-
Kimberwood Liquor didn't even open back
and
up.
it was like, well, do you
Yeah,
think
they
it's
tore that up.
that notion that
Open for a little bit,
that they're trying to push? You know, right now, I know I said it before. Like, if black people doing it, we okay with it. We ain't got no problem with it. You can go ahead and do it. We ain't gonna say anything because you're doing it because you're black, and we don't want to get labeled as racist. We have the right to protest. We have the right to go down there, put up our signs, do all this stuff because we're black. You're not gonna say it's because we're black. I'm not gonna say it's because I'm black. But the color of my skin lets you know you better not say nothing. You better not say anything to me at all. Do we see black people down here going up against ICE?
I saw 3. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I counted real hard. I was like,
I've been
all
looking.
up on the screen. I had to
I've been looking.
protesting or obstructing.
Both.
protest.
I would
I ain't
say-
seen no. I ain't.
no,
First of all, I
I would
ain't
leave it to
about
it.
to see no. You ain't about to see no obstruction. That's
That's what I was
just.
gonna say. I would only.
You already know the results to that
My
test.
issue starts and ends with the obstruction. I have no issue with
Oh, I
the
see what you're
protesting. If you don't agree with, like I'm saying before, like if you don't agree with what the government doing, that's the birth of our country. Our country is a big ass protest. Like, hey, you got the right to go out and publicly voice your disagreement with what your government is doing.
But we protest differently nowadays.
But that's what I'm saying. The line between protesting and obstructing and rioting, that is completely different. Now, I got an issue with the obstruction and the rioting. Protesting is cool. So my saying, hey, do you see any black people out there is only, do you see any black people out there obstructing or participating, causing
doing
riots?
what they're doing, like, nah, you ain't gonna see no black person out there
I
getting in
don't.
front of no ICE vehicle. You're not gonna see
Hell
no
no.
black person out there trying to interrogate ICE. You're not gonna see a black person out there trying to impede on the investigation. It makes no sense.
Now I done seen a whole bunch of them protesting, like out there with the signs and the bullhorn and yelling and stuff like that.
And that's cool.
That's cool. Like that's a protest.
But you know
That's
how
the way
we
it's supposed to
protest.
be.
You know how we will jump on top of cars.
No, that's not a protest no more. That's my point. That's
Right.
we can't call that protesting. That becomes destruction of property. And that
But do you
becomes
know the
rioting.
news media not going to label it like that? They're going to say black people are out there protesting, and then the other side is going to say they're out there rioting, because they're not going to say black people. They're just going to say they're out there protesting. We do see it with the left and the right, how they play on certain words.
Oh, yeah, without
in
a doubt.
And
Oh,
certain
absolutely.
media, like, it's okay because black people are doing it, we're going to call it a protest, or we out there people protesting. We all of a sudden we see this pile of the bricks.
Right.
And now we all of a sudden we
Like,
throwing
protest
bricks
responsibly.
and then they get arrested. But this, like, we
So it says, what makes a protest unlawful? A protest becomes illegal when it crosses from protected free speech into violence. Property damage or severe disruption, such as blocking traffic without a permit, trespassing, or failing to disperse after an unlawful assembly order, while peaceful, even disruptive demonstrations are generally protected actions like assaulting, impeding, or intimidating federal officers or other that are legal.
ooh-wee.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
again,
all
if
this
you
stuff-
want to protest, then you have the right to go out there with your bullhorns and your signs and stand on the sidewalk, safe distance away from agents. You're not supposed to follow them. You're not supposed to get in their faces. You're not supposed to throw stuff at them and tell them we want to find out where you at, and because that's intimidation. So those are the rules and the law of protesting. If you break those, then you're breaking the rules, which means if you get broke off, then so be it. And then at this stage of the game, I was like, I felt bad after the Renee Good thing, but it's clearly like people, they don't want to learn. There's no possible way you don't want to learn. So for me, I'm like, have at it. You know what? Go at it. Go balls to the wall. Go out there and you can get your super soakers, your rocket launchers, whatever you need to go take with you. Go take it to the street. Get out there and get busy. Y'all sitting up there talking about there's more of us than it is now. Prove it. That one dude that jumped up talking about he Antifa, that dude need to be in the front lines. Get on out there. Show us how it's done.
Oh, I just realized who you're talking about.
Yes, because I
saw that video.
Yeah, I found me a good popcorn spot right now, and I'm gonna be in front of the TV like.
But Antifa's, that's not even just announcing that you're Antifa. We know what you stand for. You're not going out there to peacefully protest.
Yeah, he said it in a bulletproof vest.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not even giving the idea that you want to go out there and peacefully protest. You're giving them point blank, hey, it's going to be trouble when you see me on the streets. Right. You're intentionally trying to do something. It kind of like it doesn't make sense. Like what is this? Like, what are we doing? Like, is this what we showing the young people? This is how we have to do things. But from a black person standpoint, you know how we protest. Like, we can't even do that anymore. Like hell. Like, when the last time besides George Floyd? I mean, it just like nowadays. You know, do they really care? Are they really worried about it? Like, I truly don't think so. I truly don't think it's all about pushing a message because, you know, you get those individuals that go out there, like, are they even from the state? You know, and now you get some people out there bringing up Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah. And they trying to compare the situation, but he went out there with a loaded, I guess, what? Yeah, protecting property or something, but they trying to say, hey, he went out there and killed how many people?
Just 2, I think. One got his
2 and like shot 3 or 4.
No, it was 3 people total. One got his arm blown off, and I want to say the first dude is dead, and the second dude is dead, and that was absolutely stupid. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. That Kyle Rittenhouse shit, that was stupid as hell. Yeah, like again, you went into a riot with an AR-15, and you look like you about 13 years old.
I was protecting property, but...
Yeah. So what do you think about... I've been seeing people... and I got my kind of thoughts about it, but people are saying, hey, white people... This is what black people are saying. It's like, hey, white people, do you think it's... Like, isn't it crazy how law enforcement are just able to just kill you and then write their own narrative and make everything... your fault and be like, hey, I killed this person because, you know, they did this or they did that. And like, you know, not actually being honest and having good faith when it comes to reporting, you know, the incidents that led up to the shooting. And then it's like, hey, now do you see, you know, you got like a little tiny little glimpse of what it's like to be black interacting with law enforcement. And my personal thing is like, that would only make sense if it was happening to Republicans. I'm like, but it's happening to liberals, and these are people who already, you know, have their own, you know, issues with law enforcement and you know, and things of that nature. But at the same time, it's like I can see it being, you know, a shock to their white privilege. When it comes to, you know, being able to interact with law enforcement and not knowing, not even just thinking that it could, but not knowing that, hey, this could be the end. Like a simple traffic stop, you know, if I, you know, say the wrong thing or if I reach for my wallet too quick or something, this could be the end. Like as the average white person, like they don't have to worry about that. And now it's kind of being shifted to where it's just like, hey, you know, at least if you're a white liberal out here and protesting, it's like, hey, if I interact with law enforcement, it could be a possibility that this don't turn out my way. I'm not going to be able to curse them out and say whatever I want to say and just walk away with a ticket.
I got a couple of things with that. As far as it being a liberal or Republican issue, I don't see how how that adds up. And as far as like
No, only with the people who are experiencing it, because the Republicans are not out here,
Oh,
going up
okay.
against the
Okay. All
law
right.
enforcement.
Then I see what you saying. I thought it doesn't matter. But okay, I see what you're saying. And the second thing is, I wouldn't compare what's happening in Minnesota to what black people have gone through in terms of interactions with the police, because a lot of those incidents weren't fueled by anything. Like you said, a traffic stop could get you shot back in the 80s, no problem, as opposed to being out.
It's fueled by prejudice and fear.
What's that?
The incident being pulled over and knowing that this could be my last day, and in the incidents that it does happen, you said that you don't think it's fueled by anything. I feel like it's fueled by prejudice and fear.
Oh no, I'm not talking about as far as going towards black people. Yeah, I agree that back in the 80s you could get shot over a traffic stop, no problem. But today a white person isn't going to get pulled over by a cop and have that fear. They'll have that fear out there protesting now.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. It's just like a glimpse. This is what people are saying. It's a glimpse into.
Oh,
not
okay.
necessarily
Yeah,
that
but
they know what it's like,
yeah,
because they'll never know.
Right.
But
I would try
it's
to.
a
I would
glimpse
never.
into like.
But I think it kind of is on both sides, because, man, I know you guys see the video of the white people getting pulled over and they talking belligerent to a police officer. They're saying, get your sergeant out there. You don't know what the hell you're doing. I know my right. Putting papers up on the window. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to say anything. I'm only going to show you my ID. Man, I wish I could get away with something like that. Cause what's the guy with the dread where they tried to pull him out the car and they broke the window, but I think he had a suspended license. I forgot that the guy name.
Young black dude.
The young black guy.
He got punched in the face.
Got punched in the
Yeah,
face.
he had that shit coming.
Like,
Outside.
I gotta say,
Y'all niggas soft as hell. If they was back, hey dude, I swear to God, I done seen so many Negroes get punched and beat up that it's just like it's non-effect. It don't affect me. Like, oh, you just got beat up.
Yeah, that's we went back and forth on that. Like,
Yeah,
hell, just because it happened, that don't mean it's right.
Yeah, no, hell no, it wasn't right. It didn't feel good either. But it's the fact that we still alive and that stuff don't phase us now.
Yeah,
Cops
it's
don't
just
phase
how-
us.
Yeah, but now you can
how you-
get a lawsuit.
how-
Get
Yeah.
something out of it.
people are going through some of the things that black people are going through. Like, it is just a taste of it. It'll go way deeper than that.
It ain't taste enough.
They got a grain of salt.
They
They still don't have to do what I just had to do with my son not too long ago, was sit him down and actually talk to him like, hey, when you go out in the world, this is what you got. This is how you carry yourself, especially when you're dealing with police officers and all of this stuff. And when you're talking to police officers, this is how you respond. Yes, sir. No, sir. Be respectful. Keep your hands in plain sight. Don't be reaching for nothing. Don't be running and running your mouth and all that stuff. They don't got to do that. And they never will have to do that.
Yeah, yes.
And that's only going to be a thing for black and brown people to have to do to their children. And it's fucked up that we got to do it. In 2026, we still got to prepare our children to not get killed by the police
This is true.
just because they walking down the street.
Yeah, it does. I think it does apply in like every aspect of being a black person. Like even down to going to the hospital when you go there with your wife or you finna have a baby. Like, don't leave your black woman in the emergency room, or when she having a baby. Like, they get different care from a white person. Like even down to getting on a bus or going to work, putting your name on an application. It's a lot. Like, could you imagine you applying for an application and you put Carol, and then they'd be like, oh, I don't want to bring this person in for an interview. Her name is Carol Green.
Hey.
Devontae Jordan Brown or something.
No bullshit. And my mom was ahead of the game. Mind you, she was born in 1930. If you knew all my brothers and sisters' names, you'd be like, ain't none of them black. I got so many jobs just based off of my name. When they saw me, they was like, what? They looked at me looking like it's too late already. Already to
position field.
Yeah.
I remember
No, hey, bro.
Like, no, the opposite.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I
Send
done
the
look.
resume.
I done been in some places where I had no business being, but because I did so good on the. First of all, my resume was just like immaculate. I've been everywhere, and then when they called me in, they already knew who they picked. Like, hey, this dude right here, We gonna grab him. And I've sat in a room with like 5 other white dudes just sitting there. I'm sitting there looking up at the sky like do comes in and be like, Mr. Art. I'd be like, that's me. And they'd be like, oh, well, fuck it. Now we already chose.
We already know we
already got the job. And you know what? I always outperformed anyway. So that part didn't bother me. And I always used them as a reference, and I never had problems with it. I was like, shit, I worked hard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's just something that I saw people were saying like, hey, now white folks are starting to get a little bitty a glimpse into what it's like. But
yeah, it's a very itty bitty.
Yeah,
glimpse.
they got a grain of the table.
It's like looking at a peephole in Chicago from like Georgia.
Yeah,
it's a very little glimpse because they're not making it.
But yeah, so on some lighter news,
alrighty.
I know you don't particularly care for this individual, but I'm sure you heard about it.
Oh yeah,
Drewski.
Oh, that shit was funny as hell.
Hilarious.
Drewski.
That was funny. I'm not that maybe not my brand of comedy, but that was hilarious.
Man, they are mad. Especially the funny part is it's like, well, I don't know, it may be just because like my algorithm is just black anyway, but I'm like, I only see the black pastors actually sitting here devoting full sermons. They made a whole sermon, a whole 3-hour church sermon on this thing and the hypocrisy and why are you calling us out and we do so much good for the community. Why wouldn't I be able to, and it's just like
they're messing up their money.
Yeah, but
no, I get it, but it's just like, hey, it's just one of them things where it's just like, hey, if the shoe don't fit, then what you crying about?
Right.
It's like you got a problem. Like he was very specific, within the skit. Like it's very obvious. Everybody know who he talking about. Like it's only
a handful of them.
It's only a few of them that's that's really at that level, and they all over the damn place. So you know who we talking about. So if you at Mount Zion Baptist Church on 47th the King Drive, it's like, he ain't talking about you. It's like, what are you on the pulpit preaching about? About Drewski talking about pastors, making too much money and doing all this nefarious stuff behind the scenes with the money, and he ain't talking about you. So why do you feel the need to jump in? Matter of fact, you should be agreeing with it and saying, hey, he's right. It's pastors out here like that, and y'all giving us a bad name. Because majority of people, just like with any other topic, just like with politics and just like with everything, when they get a character of a label, a title, or a person in their head, they apply it to everybody. They say pastors be like. He didn't say all pastors. He said pastors who love money, or pastors that be loving money. Or I forget what the exact title was, but he was very specific. He didn't say all pastors are like this, but they going crazy.
But they got them shaking in their boots because
because
me growing up public. Like I grew up going to church, and churches are not how they are when I was growing up. I remember 3 a.m. in the morning, if you homeless or you just got kicked out or something, you was able to go to a church. You was able to knock on the door. If somebody answered, they give you a bed to sleep in for that night. They'll give you clothes. They'll give you food. They even gave you that, you remember those food stamp voucher pack thing with the food stamp card and had like the 10 and 20.
They ain't had no 20s.
I don't know what they had. I can't even remember. But they used to give those to you, like, if you were homeless, and they used to have supplies at the church like 3 in the morning, give you a bus card. They don't do none of that anymore. I mean, they have their open house charities, but now it just seems like we trying to build us another house down the street. It's going to cost us $5 million. We asking the church house people to donate $2 million. They got an agenda. They trying to fill their pocket, especially with all the videos that be out there. I need people to come in and donate 1,000 on top of 1,000. Give to the church. I'm going to give you a blessing of 50,000. Make you a millionaire if you donate.
Right? Yeah. It was 10.
And
if the thing was 10,000 and 96.
And
but
I'm
you
like,
gotta sow $10,000 first.
and
who the dude that locked the doors?
Lock the doors.
Marvin Sapp.
He'd have got his ass
Lock the
whooped
doors.
so
He
bad.
didn't say lock the
I don't-
doors. He said
Close the door. I'm sorry.
Yeah, ass whooping still. But it'd have been a funeral service up in there. You trying to hell no. And then it's the people that fall for that. To
he
me,
he went on and he explained why. Now after that, that's up to you whether or not you want to believe it or not. But his explanation was, hey, we all know that that's a vulnerable time and everybody's got their wallet out and stuff like that. So we told him to close the doors so the people would be for security purposes. We don't want people coming in while we
leave out,
doing it.
Oh, that's what he said.
I don't know.
Them people were saying they wouldn't let us leave, and some people were trying to walk out.
Oh damn!
Somebody.
I know the pastor.
I'm just saying what he said.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I mean, I wouldn't have believed him if I heard him say it. So,
I think the only two pastors that I watch is Pastor Jenkins and what's the guy? I got the guy that he usually be on Facebook. He Paul White. No.
Who's that?
I watch Pastor Jenkins. He be going in on him. But some of them do have the audacity to.
Yeah, I don't watch none of them because I'm like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, what's his name? T.I. said it real well. He was like, he feel like churches it's become a show.
Oh yeah, I think that's all it's ever been. It's been entertainment.
Like it's no longer for what it was originally. It's about a show now. So you go to the church house to get inspiration and get the word and feel a certain type of way when you leave. But now it's just a bunch of theatrics and you got pastors coming in on suspended ropes and
yeah, that's some showman. That's
fireworks and gigantic jumbotrons and all this other stuff.
Wait! I'm sorry. What did you just do?
I just matched. You got
okay. No,
you got that.
Never mind.
You can afford it.
Yeah, I can afford it. Yeah, it's. But dude, do you think it's coming down to like the board and the Congress?
Ain't even burning another car.
Oh well, yeah.
What, you got a pair?
Yeah.
And if y'all don't give me my money, slide that all over to me.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
But
give me that. I need all that.
But yeah, man, I looked into that.
My snowblower was acting funny.
Congregation be pressuring the pastor to get that money in, push it down on the people, pay our bills. God, man, no bullshit. I remember going to a couple of churches and going there for the first time, going with family members. As you get older and you go in there and they be like, hey, we need our light bill paid. We need to pay our water bill. Like, who's going to donate?
Who's saying this?
The pastor. And I'm like, how can
He's talking about the church light bill, water bill, no?
Yeah, but that's not how you ain't supposed to go to your people and just announce that you need your water bill paid and you want them to pay for it. You know how they supposed to spend it. They give it in the name of Christ, giving in the name of Jesus.
Well, I mean, because at the end of the day, the church is. It's not technically a business, but it's still a business. They got bills. They got.
No, they don't. They're 501c3.
No, they don't. All that shit is exempt.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They don't report that. Them earnings are not public. None of that shit.
I done thought about running that scam a couple of times.
But at the same time,
because I can do some preaching.
They do have bills to pay, and those bills are supposed to be paid by the congregation. That's where the tithes and offering come in. You're supposed to pay 10% of your income.
Actually, that's not what they
into the other realm of church.
But anyway, yeah,
I
don't want to get because I get started. I was like, I was in the country south, and the church there was falling apart. But that's not why you went. You went to go hear, some type of word. You went to go hear, and I was like, dude was a farmer. It's like, so he wasn't in no suit. None of that. He said what he said, and I honestly think because and during that time, and we was like deep in the South, a lot of those people couldn't read. So I could see where that would be helpful if you had somebody, you know, with an interpretation on what the Bible is supposed to be like or what it's read. I agree with that. And when I was younger, when I actually late teens, and I remember when Creflo Dollar first came out, and he's a young kid. He wore the same shirt and tie every time he got up there, but he spoke a good word, and I remember liking him. And then some years went by, and this dude came in with all the flash, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. And it went downhill from there.
Yeah, we Oh no, you go ahead. I don't know what.
Nah, you go.
Oh, that's just the Annie.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I was like, but as far as Drewski is concerned, like I said, I don't watch him on a regular, but that one, because it made such a huge splash or a huge.
Well, what about the other skit he did playing the white truck driver guy? He was dressed up.
Oh, the NASCAR.
The NASCAR.
Yeah.
Oh man, that had them their head spinning.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it was simple. I mean, not simple, but he just did like whiteface. If that's a thing, like he had on like body paint and stuff, and made
He
his
was going out there
he was out
celebrating
there, like,
and being under
like
all the Trump people, and they was loving it.
at NASCAR and stuff. He had a mullet and stuff with overalls with no shirt and fake tattoos and stuff.
He was
American
acting
flag
fool.
tattoo and stuff.
Oh man, that sounds funny.
All right.
But yeah.
What you guys take on Don Lemon? You think he was tripping as far as bringing them people in that church? Do you think that was his intention?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don Lemon?
Really? Yeah.
So
I just
Don
think
Lemon
he's stupid.
is a former. I'm not sure if
I know who Don Lemon is.
Oh, you
I don't
know,
know.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know the incident you're talking.
So I guess he came into a church and supposedly, hypothetically, brought in a bunch of protesters, and they started to, protest inside the church. But then he started to he went up to the pastor to try to get his opinion on it, but he was like, "Hey, this is the house of God right now. Like I'm not for this. We're trying to preach the word right now." But then he just tried to make it all about a political issue. But he some people say he kind of led them into the church. What happened? Y'all
I folded.
Oh, y'all over here with him. See?
Hey, more than I had anyway.
So, but I like Don Lemon because I know he got fired for some racist remark off the show, the same as Joy Reid, but I do like how Don Lemon will still go out there and try to have a conversation with people with his microphone, even though he don't technically have no job anymore. But he'll go out
He
there.
don't need a job. He's got podcasts and all this.
Yeah, but he'll go.
Oh,
out
he
there.
need a job because his podcast ain't hitting him.
His name is
His podcast rating the trash. Like,
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
it's
but
garbage.
he will go out there and have a conversation with you, put the mic in your face, and some people will be like, "Hey, you're Don Lemon, like you're a piece of shit," but then he'll be like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit." So I kind of do like his approach because a lot of these news reporters can't do what he do. They still got to have a certain profile if you reporting from like Fox News, ABC. But he can go out there and have that honest conversation. But I do think he pushing the narrative really hard, especially him with Joy Reid. Like I don't support Joy Reid. Trash. Like
Dude,
I don't know.
racism gets you paid flat out. That's
It
it.
does.
That's the end of the story. And as far as Don Lemon is concerned, this little stunt that he pulled trying to get him relevance. He's trying to stay in the people's eye, and it just sucked. I saw him get roasted by a Hispanic lady when he's sitting there trying to tell him that illegal immigration isn't illegal. And she was just roasted his ass. She was like, "Well, it's a crime, right?" And she was like, "No, it's not a crime. Like, but it's in the law. Yeah, it's a law, but it's not really a crime." And the dude was walking by. I was like, "Yeah, it's a crime."
Yeah,
and it's like if you got to be that dishonest, that disingenuous to sit up there and lie to somebody, like bold face to their face, lie. It's like I'm not about to listen to everything else you're gonna say is a lie. It's like, so why get started on the bad foot? I was like, you lied. There's no reason for me to talk to you moving forward. If anybody else would approach a person and lie, that's the first thing anybody who follows or believe that person afterwards got everything they got coming to them.
Yeah, but it's like, why try so hard to push a narrative knowing, about race? Because I know he like to say, hey, if it was a white man, it wouldn't go like this, or the white man is the devil. But I'm like, you're married to one, right? Aren't you in a relationship with one? Why say that? You don't think the person you're in a relationship with would be offended if you go on the news and say that? Because ultimately, you are talking about that person. It doesn't make sense. Like, why do all of that?
Yeah, I never understood that.
Like, I don't see. Oh, me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't follow Don Lemon. I don't follow none of the news people.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that whole Joy Reid, Don Lemon thing, that race baiting. Roland Martin can be tossed in that subject too, because it's like it's always about race. It's always about somebody being black. And my question is this, right? So I was sitting there, and I'm not going to say who, but it's always a conversation about. The white man do this, and then when the white man decide he gonna get up and do something, then this white man. Hold on.
You don't even know what you have. See, you over here messing up.
I don't see that. What you put in? I don't. Yeah.
No.
But it's always white man. Do this, and that. I was like, okay. I was like,
buddy,
so
you short one. I got 4. I put.
I mean, you might be on some bullshit.
Yeah, I sure am. Y'all.
I'll go ahead. I'll give you some of your money back.
Match.
But it's always that thing where it's, hey, where you get green from?
We answering that. We getting off topic. Hold on.
Hey, you just making up denominations. Man,
All right, come on.
Y'all just being reckless for no reason. So am I taking my ribs back?
No, those are in. I just added into it.
All right. I'll see where this goes. But anyway, back to my white man rant. People go off on white man this. My question is this. So what has anybody else done for you? Like, has the black man ever walked up to you and gave you something? The black people on banks, I remember Seaway. Yeah, exactly. But is that a reason to complain? So you get your religion from the white man. You get your education from the white man. If you bought a house 9 times out of 10, that bank loan was from a white man. What else? I'm pretty sure, because there are a couple. Wait, what did I go down? 3? Religion, education, and bacon. We can just stop right there. So
you said bacon?
Banking.
Oh.
Like if you got a...
I'm like, damn, the white people got them bacon too?
Shit. Only one that got him is Patty LaBelle. But outside of that, well, Martha Stewart probably run a good game. But outside of that, it's like, all right, you demonize the white man for all this stuff, but basically you got everything from him. So would you be willing to give that back and just be like, denounce your...
I mean, it ain't like they doing us a favor. Like, shit, we had to...
What you just...
I put up 4 whites. They had to go through how many years of protesting and civil rights and all that stuff. It's like, it ain't like we just got that shit. We had to fight for it.
Well, what do we got? I'm sorry.
The ability to even have access to those things that you just listed.
Are you aware that we had those things before those protests?
I mean, we had to earn them, right? Because not too long before that, we weren't even considered 3/5 a human.
Before that, black people had towns, banks, and money state.
But that's all stuff that we had to get at up.
No, not after the 60s. I'm talking about we go back to the early 1900s. Like black people had stuff.
We had Black Wall Street where we were on the verge of becoming
one of the most
wealthiest.
These are things that happened after we were finally allowed to not be slaves anymore. It's not like we just came over here and just had property.
Oh no,
no. It ain't like we came here with the same abilities that they came here with. Like
some of them,
but it's just like
some of them. You know how history like to present itself differently
on
who the storyteller.
Unless you was an immigrant from Africa to Europe and then from Europe to over here, that's different. But I'm talking about if you came straight from Africa to here.
Hell yeah. Over time it's like we accomplished those things. But I'm like, how is that a problem now?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not a problem now, but it's just like, what do we do? Are we thanking them for allowing us to have the same?
No, you ain't got to thank them. I was like, but you got to learn the rules and learn how to play the game just like they play it. It's nobody holding any black person back from playing the game. Is that what's that?
2 kings.
Got 2 kings.
Wait, what did you have?
He had a king and a 3. I got 2.
Why you put all those chips down if all you had was a king and a 3?
Because he just going along. I'm
just
just having
going
a conversation.
Y'all crazy. Give me my chips. There go my 5. There go my 8. 2 pair.
Get the fuck out.
Can you slide that over to me?
Get out of here.
Getting that lawnmower fixed.
He thought we had me.
Yeah, I thought I had.
But it's just like, I don't know. Do you think it's that black mentality that had been bestowed upon us through the social media manipulations, different leaders that we supposed to look up to that's supposed to represent us in a certain way? Because now, you know, a lot of people, or a lot of black people, do think that we can't make any progress, or at least get ahead because of that certain mentality that's still there, that still lingers over our head. But actually, we can, because we got black millionaires, we got black doctors, we got black police officers, we got black lawyers, we got black businesses, black owners.
It can be done. My only thing
Like we touched on this before.
it's like you're not black people are not going to be willing to do what it actually takes in order for it to get there. Here's a perfect example just now. Looking at the Somali population in Minnesota. They sat up there and told dude, and it was funny because it was a dude in Maine. This dude could barely speak English, but he went and told the politicians the same thing. He's like, look, based off of what's been happening recently, we don't feel protected. We don't feel respected. So when election times come, he's like, we're going to have to change our views and see where we're going to vote to next. Because they voted in a block. And if you got 100,000 people in any demographic, it's going to make a difference in an election. And that's what they were sitting there propping those people. That's why you got the goof-ass governor putting Somali flags behind him when he speaks. That's why you got the other goofy mayor sitting there speaking in Somali, because they know that's their base. They know that those votes are going to go to them now. Just like Democrats know that black people are going to vote for them no matter what. That's why they got the Mexican population coming in, or the border illegals coming in, because black people are getting ousted now. They are no longer needed. If I had as many as votes as from black people over a span of 60 years and didn't have to show anything for it, I'm not thinking about you. That's why. I know where you're gonna go next time.
It's the census thing where they go in and they do a survey of how many people in a neighborhood, how many people they can use to get votes from those particular neighborhoods to try to keep their seats. Because look at all this stuff that's going on right now. We got midterms on the way. So some of these Democrats run states need to keep a certain number of amount of immigrants in the state just so they can hold those seats.
Right.
Because, you know, I do got to say, these Democrats run state with the no voter ID. I have seen plenty of videos out there where people recording themselves. I'm going in here to vote. I'm going into another place to vote again. I just voted 4 times. And like, that's really a big issue. And a lot of people say that's not happening.
That's bull
like
crap.
I know for a fact when I go in there and vote, you want to see my ID? No, we don't need it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Like, would you ever try that? Would you ever try?
Hell no. I wouldn't
go in
even
there and vote twice.
Hey, first of all,
If you had a candidate that you wanted to vote for,
yes, thank you. So
you
I don't
try
have to
it.
go through it.
no.
But
You think no? You would try to see if it really happens. You go in there and actually vote twice.
No, because I'm putting myself in risk of what if I happen to go to the one polling office where they actually paying attention, and I'm too paranoid for this.
Not in Chicago. You don't have to worry
Hey,
about
I was
that.
like, "What's your address?" And then they tell you to write your address down. They don't even ask for verification,
And-
no bills or anything. You could do that.
Now, the crazy thing to me was when everybody, well, not everybody, but when Trump came out and said the election was stolen by Joe Biden. And I didn't listen to his points because everybody said election is stolen, and I just blew it off a while. I like, dude, man, he lost or whatever. And then I just so happened to catch a report where they were talking about the number of people that had voted compared to any other election. So Joe Biden is up with 81 million votes. And I was like, man, dude, that's a lot of votes. And if you look at Trump's, his pretty much stayed the same. So you had this 15 million people gap that came in during COVID when everything was locked down. So that means all these votes were mailed in. Now, They did say in terms of it being like, oh yeah, it wasn't cheated or nothing. When they said they recounted the votes, they didn't verify if the people were real or not. They just verified that this person voted for Democrat, this person voted for Republican, this person voted for Democrat, they didn't bother to look and see if any of those people were really existed. And you mean to tell me like, oh, it was done fairly if I'm mailing a vote in? I was like, dude, mail fraud is one of the biggest frauds out there. And to sit up here and be like, oh yeah, no, nothing could happen with the mail. I'm like, is you crazy?
If it can.
I'm like, that was the first fraud I think was mail fraud.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, I just attributed it. I didn't look into it either because, like you said, I was just like, everybody say that. You just mad because you lost.
But
whatever.
even I think in Georgia admitted that they had 300-something thousand voted that voters or voting or whatever that shouldn't not have voted.
Yeah, it was unverified.
And there was enough to swing that state because Trump only won by a margin. Or
no,
whatever.
he lost.
I'm sorry, he lost by a margin. What I think it was like 17,000 votes.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So they're saying, hey, technically, if those extra 300,000 votes wasn't there, Trump would have won that state, and that's still going off of the audit that's going on. I still think it's going to be more.
Yeah, that's just one state. That's just Georgia.
What percentage of voter fraud do you think there is in every election? It ain't zero.
Oh, it ain't zero.
No, it ain't zero.
But I think it's just the fact of admitting that there is fraud and that the system that we are currently having
if they do that, then they got to shut the whole thing down.
But
they need to. If you can go in and vote,
that's counter to their survival, their existence.
All right. So if I go buy cigarettes right now with gray hair and everything, they'll ID me. They want to see my ID. If I go buy alcohol with my gray hair, they'd be like, "Let me see your ID." If I go buy some weed, which I'm not condoning or said that I do, I would have to go sit there and I would have to show ID. So all three of those things are more important than people's voting. That to me raised suspicion. If voting is that serious, why wouldn't you want an ID? Wouldn't you want to make this process fair? Wouldn't you want to show your ID and say, this is who I am? Let me vote for my person?
So what are the pushbacks to that? Because I don't know.
Racism. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Cut it out. I'm talking about.
If it's the question you about to ask, then it is racism. But
when
go
they
ahead.
talk about the voter ID thing, and they are the people who are proponents of it, what is the steel man that they have for not wanting voter ID? Like their actual justifications that they're promoting.
Racism.
I know that's but what is the
majority?
Because they're talking about inaccess to having IDs, and that part I don't understand. I'm like, what point do you not have IDs? Like,
the pushback from the Democrat for not wanting voter ID. One, they think that it would be racism against people who supposedly don't have an ID. That means you have to technically ID somebody to say whether if you can vote or not. Another thing is they think it will be an infringe on black people because apparently a lot of the Democrats have been saying that a lot of black people don't have ID on them for some apparent reason. But these are the issues that they're pushing when they try to go and vote on these bills in the House of Congress or the Senate to try to get this passed in a law that's required that you have an ID when voting in federal election. It also does protect us from anybody coming across the border and voting because you technically just providing the address without providing any type of proof.
Yeah, but what are the reasons? Because I heard all of that part, that stuff. Okay. But what are the actual reasons that they saying these people don't have IDs? Because I can't think of any reasons for a person to not have an ID, not even have the ability to obtain an ID.
That's what they're saying. They're saying it's going to be like a racial target. Like I'm gonna say it racism.
It is. I mean,
I'm saying, but how though? I don't. That's the part I don't understand.
In their
who
mindset,
doesn't have access to an obtain an identification? How is that racist?
I don't know.
Yeah, and to me that's the dumbest thing at all. But in all honesty, to your question, it's like that was the reason. They said because it's making they want black people to prove that, and okay, we black, and what that got to do with voting in an ID? Now, any case scenario, hypothetically, if I had to get up right now and walk out that door, and a cop pull up on me and be like, "Let me see some ID," and I don't have an ID, guess where I'm going?
Right.
So I'm like, why wouldn't you have an ID? To me, it's like, dude, you need an ID to get a job. You need an ID to get a social security number. You need an ID to drive. It's like, so who's out here with no ID?
Yeah, but I do think it still goes back
Only
to...
people I can see, real quick, Diamond. Only people I can see that applying to is like real elderly people who don't have to do none of that no more.
But they wouldn't necessarily be out there
But why
voting.
not, though?
Would you still have the will? Would you even care anymore if you're 95 to
But
go
I
out
think
there and
that
vote?
would be...
Well, if you
Yeah,
95, you got an ID. Trust me.
I was like, it's
If
too
you
late.
95, it might be expired, but your ass got an ID.
It's expired. You ain't got no. You don't have
can
a
prove
job.
what
You
you
don't
got.
have. You haven't had to get a job. You on Social Security. You on Social Security. I'm like,
You got to cash that check. You need an ID. You got to go to the bank if it's
That stuff is
direct
all
deposit.
direct deposit.
And then
They
you need an
kids-
ID. You can't
they
walk in the
kids
bank
that set
talking
all
about,
that
I miss
stuff up.
Jenkins. I need my money, baby. Let me go and get $35 for my
They
lottery.
kids then already set all that stuff up. That's the only thing. And I had to really think about that. Like, that's the only instance that I could see for it being an inconvenience, not an impossibility. It'd be an inconvenience to require an ID to vote. It's for an elderly person who had no reason to renew their license and their ID last time it expired, who don't really. They just chilling in the house on retirement, go to church on Sundays and come back and listen to what the old people listen. They don't listen to Fox.
Oh, hell
What's the other one?
I was
NBC, ABC? No. What's the other one?
UPN?
No,
or
it's-
something?
Why you keep looking at me
The
talking
news
about old
stations.
people? I found that
I'm
kind of
looking back and
interesting.
forth. The news stations. There's Fox and
Ask your mama what she
ABC,
tell me she was.
CBS, CBS, ABC.
Yeah, but I'm just like,
you know.
that's the only instance that I could see for a person of voter age to not have an ID and it to be an inconvenience. But even then, it's like, hey, if they got kids or if they got church, a church family, people that can take them out to go get their IDs, which I did see people were doing that in the South, especially in the South. They were like, they had the buses of the church buses and stuff going to pick up the elderly people to go, get them out the house and taking them to go vote. I'm like, they could do the same thing. Get a whole bunch of old people up and then take them up to the DMV to get them IDs renewed. And get them.
They made everybody get this real ID. Yeah. That was a pain in the ass, but everybody did it. So what's the problem with here's your voter ID?
A pain in the ass.
Most people had to make those appointments.
But again, if I'm 95, I ain't going. I'm like, I'm done. I ain't got.
Well, that's
nothing
you.
to-
But if you're talking about in the areas where they actually targeting this stuff, this is in the South.
Yeah,
You're talking about old black folks in the South, like they
probably.
But
they need to go out and vote because they know that they live in a state that's probably majority Republican.
Oh, trust me, if you
I
So
do
it's like
think
they'll be the ones that going out and voting.
It still does go
And then they
back
church people
to,
too.
Yeah, the church people. But no, you're right, because they do got to go out there and vote. I see them, and I'm in line. They get off that pace bus, and they all line up in numbers, and they have them go in front of everybody because they want to get them in and out, because some of them can't stand that long. I get it. I understand 100%. But I still think it goes back to the Democrats need the black vote to win, or as they say now, they no longer need the black vote to win. Let's bring them all. Let's bring in all these migrants.
They need it.
And like I don't see anyone winning an election without the black vote. Like,
You know
period.
what's crazy when it comes to that? What I was thinking about is like they bring these, like, especially specifically, Latin American countries. They bring in the migrants and stuff, and they, the Democrats, and for this is the reason that we obviously know that they want them in because they think they're gonna vote for them. But the thing is like these are all like Catholic countries.
Yeah.
Catholic conservative countries. So it's like you think they are gonna come here and all of a sudden they're like their thought process on their values and that's gonna flip once they come across the board because you let them come over here. It's like they still gonna have those conservative, religious
But as long as you pay them.
values.
Yeah, I think
And
if you
those
get
tend
enough
to-
of them.
And the African guy came in when he was getting deported. He was like, "Oh, thank you, Obama. Thank you for all the money and all the other stuff." We knew who he voted for.
I'm specifically talking about the Latin Americans from South America, from traditionally Catholic countries.
Right.
And Catholicism is more conservative. So their values are going to be lined up more with Republicans than with Democrats.
And they're showing that, which
they definitely showed it on this last one because you see
it's a panic for it.
You see the volume of Latin Americans that voted for Trump. It was like
but it's the change up because you can't keep feeding them the same. You can't keep feeding people the same BS you do every election cycle and expect them to vote the same way because it's not working. Now you got
they've been doing it for how many years?
Forever.
Yeah, but at least now, like.
Man, that ain't changing, man. That ain't changing no time soon.
I do say it has been a big, a change. Cause apparently, I mean, you know how Trump first term, well, ain't no black person vote for him. But now, this time around, he back in office. How many more black people actually voted for Trump?
22%.
That's a big jump. That's an insane jump.
Men-wise, I'm sorry,
so
22%.
When I was looking at that, I'm feeling like those are people who probably would have voted for him the first time, but didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to admit it, or just didn't vote at all. And now they coming out and voting for him because I'm like, if you get career Democrats, it's like they not voting for red no matter who, no matter who's got the blue tie on. The Trump will turn around and become a Democrat tomorrow, and they not voting for no Republican.
Yeah. But to me, it's like it's a wake-up call, especially for black people here in Chicago. And I think that they should be in the forefront in terms of becoming a party. And like he had asked earlier, like what could change? And I'm saying like the Somalis did as far as their voting block, that everybody would have to be on the same page, just not Chicago, just not, I would say, start a website or get some app to verify your blackness, and everybody agree that, hey, when it comes down to this time or these two candidates, this is what we're going to present, and all you need is like 10 bullet points. It could be education, it could be free housing, it could be reparations, I don't care what it is, but you got 10 bullet points on your list, and you go to the Republican and say, hey, can y'all do this? And be like, nope. Hey, can you do this? Nope. Go to the Green Party, see what they got to offer. Because when you vote in a system like that in power, again, like the Somalis did, then they would have to play cards. But by the Democrats sitting here like, well, we own black people and really we don't give a shit what you think. That's been proven in Chicago. That's been proven 100%. You cannot tell me that that's not real. When we were on the verge, when Rahm Emanuel was in office and dude was whacking schools all in the black and poor neighborhoods, whacked like 50 of them. We lost 50 schools. Sure. Those kids now had to move around to places that they weren't familiar with, lost the teachers, lost all that. 50 of them. And then the black people here on the south side of Chicago, when Mayor Johnson, actually when Lightfoot was in office, cried for $13 million. They cried about it. We need $13 million to keep 4 schools open. Lori Lightfoot blew that off. Brandon Johnson act like he didn't even hear what they was talking about. So now you turn around from $13 million to open 4 schools in a black neighborhood. You turn around to give people that don't even belong here
50.
No, $634 million. That's why we in a budget deficit of $1.8 million. And what did they turn around and do? No, we need to keep these people here. Those 4 schools that you was crying about years ago, we don't need that. What we really need is this Mexican population to come here because we need to show them that we're friends. I don't know if y'all remember on the news that that during that time where they were at the hotel downtown, and they were donating all this food, and they just showed people throwing bags. I'm talking about the big super white bags of food in the garbage because it wasn't ethnically to their taste. I was like, so what about the poor people that don't have food that are scrounging right now, or the kids that go to school just to eat? I was like, that ain't along their taste lines. And black people got up there and sat up there and cheered and voted for that. You cheered for your replacement. And here it is now. You ain't getting no money. You getting kicked out. Now you just got taxed out of your houses. Because Inglewood and what's the other one? West Side, y'all gone. Y'all gone. Y'all are so gone right now, it's ridiculous. So now you done got taxed out of your houses, all believing because some dude, goofy ass nigga, got up there talking about some, West Side up in here now, and fucked everything up. Now how you feel about West Side? Not, yeah.
I think, when it comes down to it, like, it's just like you got to pay attention on who you vote in. Because Mayor Brandon Johnson, boy, he got up there and said, I ain't going to raise property taxes.
Man.
And turn around and raise property taxes on everybody. And now, hey, we spent all this money on the migrants, and then now, we want you to pay for it. We want it to come out of your pocket. I got to fill this budget and make sure everything get good. But you guys are going to pay for it. And if you don't like it, I'm going to make it about race.
Yeah,
I'm trying to promote black businesses here in the city of Chicago. I pay this guy $30,000 a month for my haircut. What? What the fuck is that? How are you paying $30,000 a month to a guy to cut your hair? Like, have you seen this guy's hair?
And the dumbest haircut. And you a grown ass man.
But I got all these gifts
looking like
in this building
man.
somewhere. They gave me all these gifts worth millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I ain't gonna say nothing about it. It's gift. It's free. I get to keep it. No, it sounds like bribes. Yeah. Like you got bribed really well, Brandon Johnson, because these property taxes are really hurting people. And
he don't care. He got the pensions for the teachers. He got his pension. Everybody else around him getting paid, and that's the name of the game. I get it, but to sit up there and blatantly lying, it's like they're not even slick about it anymore.
No,
it's like it's just blatantly. I'm gonna tell you something to do. Oh, Virginia just went through the same thing. The chick they voted in Virginia, I forgot her name, which I just found ironic because Barack Obama endorsed her, and he was like the white lady Spellberger.
Spellberger. Oh
yeah,
my God.
He sat up there and endorsed her. Talk about some now. I want you to get out and vote because this vote is important. And I was like, so wait a second. A black woman was running up against her. And just a couple of years ago, you told us that it's better to vote for the black woman because she know what y'all been through and know how to associate and all this. Except when it's a white woman run up against it, then the black woman don't know shit. I was like, dude, if that ain't an ultimate smack in the face, I don't know what he is.
He ain't pick her because of the political issues that she was presenting. It didn't follow along with his agenda. It didn't make any sense.
She was Republican, the black chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a Republican. That's
was she? I thought she was
No, she was a Republican.
But I thought it was mainly their political issue didn't align. It was just like he was.
Yeah, because she was a Republican. That's what didn't align.
You know how you get into those gender surgery for children, but that's another topic.
Yeah, but I'm like that within itself. And now Virginia, the same dude that hired their AG that sat there and threatened the Republican dude and his kids, and I mean in text messages, like I want him dead. Like texted, and it's like he still managed to become AG and got elected when anybody else say, I'll shoot somebody on the sidewalk, just bullshit, and this dude get demonized. He literally sent out text messages talking about he wanted the kids dead. And dude got elected. Now they're in Virginia, and it wasn't even 48 hours. They done turned around everything they said they was going to do during the election. They done raised taxes. They said they bringing the illegals in. They said they're about to be a sanctuary city now. And it's just like, okay, y'all go figure it out.
Think about Mondami. You think everybody hitting that regret button now?
Oh, hell yeah.
They hitting that regret button.
You ain't about to get nothing free. You crazy.
And he raised fares on the entire city. He
within like a week.
Didn't make any sense. And everything that he was proposing, you got to pay for it now, or he's not going to pay for it. And then all these millionaires that's in the city, they're leaving because
they're vacating.
That doesn't make any sense. I hope y'all got what y'all voted for, because that is definitely.
Oh, they ain't get it yet. It's coming.
Y'all definitely got. It's one of those y'all fucking around and find out now, because y'all definitely finna get a world of pain.
New York is about to look like it did in the 80s. And the only good thing that came out of the 80s was hip hop. Because
it was a lady that was talking about, it cost me $500 a month now to get to work. No coffee on the way, no quick donuts, no stop, no nothing. Just $500 to take 2 buses there just because of that increase in the cost of transportation. Don't make any sense.
But I thought he was going to make public transportation free.
I should throw something at you.
That was sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it was.
But then in that case, good one.
I don't know what he was. But everybody told him before he got in office, that shit ain't finna happen.
Right.
You got to roll back all your policy, and now he's doing more communism, or supposedly trying, but that shit ain't working. But now I don't know how you gonna pull it off.
I stopped following after he won, because it was only to me it was only interesting because of the just the lack of kowtowing that he was doing when it came to the Jews and stuff, and how they were all sitting up on a podium saying their first thing they're gonna do in office is to go visit Israel and all that other shit. And he was like, "What am I going to Israel for? Like, I'm a mayor of New York. My people are in New York. Like, first thing I'm doing is figuring out what I could do for New York."
You know, he got to kiss that brass ring.
And that's what no, it seemed like he was doing the opposite.
Yeah,
it was like because they all kowtow to the Jewish.
That's what I'm saying. He had to kiss it, but he ain't want to kiss it. But now he saw the flip on him. The powers that be.
I don't know. After that, I stopped paying attention. But I did I think we talked about it before on one of the episodes. We were just talking about his policies and stuff and where he were, with the free the state sponsored. City ran grocery stores and all that other stuff. And I was just like, some of his stuff seemed like it would, it was good in theory. Like, it's good in theory, but when you're gonna be realistic, it's like I don't think not 90% of the stuff that he was proposing. I was like, I don't see actually him being able to actually do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, we're gonna find out in a couple of months. We probably gonna be talking about it. Like, hey,
it might not even take a couple of months.
He ain't hit
off to a bad start.
He ain't hit the. I heard he coming for the taxi and ride share out there too. So, he been really.
Well, did you hear what
them up and trying to let the taxis?
Well, the fare trying to, I guess, something along of trying to provide a certain. If you driving from this area to this area, it got to be free. Or if you go across the bridge, it got to be a free ride. You know how you read these articles, how he's proposing because people feel like he fell short on some of the policies that got him elected. Free child care services, free grocery run, well, not free groceries run, but grocery run grocery store, free transportation. You fall short, somebody going to get you up out of there?
I don't see how people would even think that the free transportation thing was going to be legit.
That's why we vote for you to run for mayor.
It's like, how much
you need to do it. He can't do it. Because I got reasons why you can't do it. But it's not what you think. Man. Not unless you want to do it. But do you want to do it?
Do you think if he was black, he would have got all them votes? A nigga saying they gonna give us free bus service?
You just had Mayor Adams in there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
but I'm just like, if you think about the amount of money that the public transportation brings in, the amount just from tourism alone, like when tourists come there, they not,
you ain't about to drive.
They're not driving. It's like you go there to New York, and that's the whole thing. It's like an experience of itself. Like get on the, on the subway.
Go down to that second level in the train. That's unheard of.
Like that's the whole experience in itself.
I wish I had my gun on me then, because I was like, is this even part of the subway? I was like, because this
still be in New York fighting that case.
Hey,
man,
I'd have probably needed it.
It was months ago. You still be in there.
All them characters down the street trying to sell you a picture. You take a picture of them, give me money, then they trying to fight
that's just a part of the.
No, that's the damn whatchamacallit. I almost got into a fight with one of them dudes with the beads.
Yeah, the beads too. Oh,
I was like, nigga, I know for a fact you don't know kung fu.
Put on your wrist. Good luck. Then give me money.
I was like, I gave that dude that bracelet back. Like, man, give my $20 back. And he's like, oh, what? No, I was like, no, give me my money back. I was like, because it ain't enough of y'all out here. I guarantee you.
Yeah, they be.
Yeah, I don't know. But
goddamn naked cowboy, that guy.
We saw him with the guitar.
Yeah,
and the cowboy hat on. He's in Times Square.
He clears over $100,000 a year. Man.
Oh, well,
From
good
just
for
playing
him.
out there and people throwing money in his.
No, well, you know, all the girls take pictures with him because he's got.
Oh, you charge for money?
No,
Charge for a picture?
donation. You know, he don't ask for a photo, but you get the idea. It's like those fake ass Elmos and fucking Bert and Ernie characters out there. Take a picture with them, then they be like, you know, well, they be like, give me $5,
Everything's a
but he
hustle.
just like he has more of a up to it with the ladies or soming, you know, in the draws, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, what, he swole up or something?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
he's out there like He-Man. So
But I put it to you like this: I wouldn't be out in my drawers at a good time.
Shit, fuck it.
Not unless I was on stage.
he was.
I ain't doing it, but hey, I ain't gonna knock him.
Yo, I ain't gonna knock him either.
Oh, no, I
No
ain't.
problem. I'm just saying what I would not do, and that would be one of them.
Yeah, I got a picture with him, so yeah.
Is that what this was leading to? Just for you to be like, all right, fuck it, y'all. I took a picture with it. Like,
We in New York, you like, oh, there he is. I see him on the news all the time, even though I'm in a whole nother state.
oh, bro.
But
It gotta happen, I guess.
alrighty, we are at
Yeah, 153.
2 hours. I gotta.
Yeah, we could wrap.
Yep. All right. Well, you know,
Is that it?
we got to get more in the clips.
I mean, we got.
I think I got all my anger issues out. I don't feel angry anymore.
No, I got a feeling we got something. We got a government shutdown. You think it's gonna happen this Friday?
Yes.
You think it is? You think it's finally gonna happen this?
Oh, they're gonna shut it down based off of ICE, and I want my money for real this time. So that'd be $20 that y'all owe me. That they're gonna shut the government down
I'm not
based
betting
on
against
ICE.
any- I wasn't. I never
And they're
bet
gonna
against
say
any of that stuff.
they're gonna say that we're gonna shut it down
what's
because
the,
of
what's
ICE
the
violence.
actual thing? The actual.
Well, they don't want in the current budget that passed the House. They don't want the more funding for ICE in there. That's it.
So they're proposing a budget. Republican.
It already passed the House, and I guess it's going to the Senate to pass. And I guess they have in there.
And they're upping the budget for ICE.
I guess they some funding. You know.
Yeah,
they always
it
try to
all
find
falls
some way.
under defense and
Yeah, they
military
always
stuff
try to find
anyway.
some way
But
to sneak in
there's a earmark in
that's
there
not
for
gonna
them.
be-
Sneak in them still
And
in the
they
check
got-
because I'm waiting.
They're gonna sit up there and say, "No, we don't want it because this is what's happening in our cities, and they're being terrorized and blah blah blah." And then they're gonna come around and say, "Well, you're in control of the House and the Senate, so you know it's not on us." And dumbasses be out there like they are in control of the House and the Senate, so why they like no. Dumbass people that are listening, when people are voting and you're in a minority, you don't get shit your way. So you can't go propose shit and be like, it's your fault if you don't pass it. That's just flat out stupid. So
Yeah, but-
that's what they'll say. I want my $20.
But it kills me even
Not
now.
betting you that this, 'cause
But you're not saying
we know that this is
But
what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to agree on that.
Yeah, but it kills me even now that they would get up there and say, hey, if we get back the House and the Senate through the midterm or whatever, we're going to undo everything Trump did and put back all that funding that was going to whoever, the migrants. Like, are you really sitting there and telling us that if you guys get the House and the Senate back, you're going to start giving money back to these migrants like that again?
Yep.
That makes no sense to tell people that. And people be just looking like, do you realize what he just said? That would be an ultimate slap in your face again.
And you know what? People are still going to go out and vote for him.
And that don't make any
Because
sense.
it's not about the policies; it's about who the person is running.
It is true.
They're not gonna vote against the Democrats if it means putting another Republican back in. Which historically, that's how it goes anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Republican do 2 terms, Democrat do 2 terms, Republican do 2
Yeah,
terms.
the same snake on the same beast. But
But and most
think-
likely the Democrats are gonna probably end up winning midterms, like historically they tend to do.
Yeah.
Right? So
I think they are.
they're gonna be able to throw their own little shit in there and try to wiggle some stuff back in there. But I think it'd be real dumb for them to continue with this this stance that they've been taking as far as the loose borders and,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
and
they-
giving money to the migrants.
Because the Somalians, they call us niggas. They say we dumb. They don't fuck with us. And they telling us that
That's just
shit.
a
But
well-known
now
thing.
here's-
Africans don't fuck with black Americans.
Yeah, they
Right?
don't.
There's something interesting. It's like, why would they do it? Meaning giving the money back to the immigrants and everything. I was like, well, we just saw that the reason that they would do that is in order to keep their funding going. So if you go back and check now and look at the donations in terms of years prior to what the Democrat Party is actually collecting now, they are actually $16 million in debt due to that last fiasco with Kamala Harris. So now you have money on the side of Canada.
Just funding her campaign?
Yeah, she got funded over $1 billion and then lost it all. But the different houses, so the Senate and the houses, they have their different coffers that they can pull from. That's in a plus. But overall, it's like the niggas still owe 16 mil from Kamala Harris. Yeah. So they're not getting the donations that they were. The Republicans are straight in the black. They good. They like got all types of money coming in. So in order for them,
make sure they got they tax breaks and
but in order for the Democrats to regain
have you started doing your taxes yet?
I was just about to say, they shut down the government. We still gonna get any refunds that we might be holding?
Man, I'm saying a nicer return on the last. That's all I'm gonna say. A very nice. If you got overtime, that's
no. Chicago don't play that. They don't do that overtime rule.
I did it on mine. It's on mine. It's on mine.
It's a state thing. Well, it may be federal that they won't take it out of federal, but state, you're definitely not.
That's separate.
I
still got to file the state.
Yeah, you still got to file separate. I see a nice difference.
But because the federal has a bigger chunk anyway.
Yeah, the federal has a bigger chunk.
But the state said, we're not honoring the no tax on tips in the overtime.
I wasn't expecting them to anyway.
I mean, that's just flat out, that's ignorant. Just because you got overtime, I understand in terms of the money difference, after everything is said and done, but still.
That was just a thing to get blue collar people.
It does actually
to try to lean towards them.
Yeah, but it happens in other states. It doesn't happen here in Chicago, Illinois, New York, and California. They're like, no, we're not gonna.
No, I'm just saying, just the whole proposal, just the whole thing.
No
tax on the overtime. It's that didn't really fully make sense. It makes sense to the people who out here actually have to fucking work overtime just to pay their bills, which is going to be black and brown people for the majority.
Yeah.
Well, overtime applies to everybody. So.
Well, yeah, but the people people that with him, like they, traditionally, if you want to put a carte blanche like a statement over it, it's like they're gonna be majority salary. So it's like how much overtime they make a salary.
Yeah, but if you make it salary,
so that don't apply to you. So I'm saying
it don't apply. But typically you're not gonna be making under 50,000 and salary. That's absurd.
Well, but I'm saying that policy. It was very obvious that policy was aimed at was aimed at a certain demographic to get that demographic to leave.
It was aimed at me,
and it was a bad idea to institute it in the first of all. Like, why would you tax tips? Period. And that was during a time where you had college students, a lot of people that are working at restaurants because they get paid like shit. That were dependent on that.
The tips is different. I'm like, you shouldn't get taxed on tips, but overtime is like you still. I feel like that's still the same as working regular, like as far as when it comes to taxes, it's like it's still an income. Like a tip I feel like a tip is separate. But
do you think it's one of those
overtime? It's still an income that should be taxed, especially when you giving tax cuts to the corporations
But even now,
that's employing these people.
I think certain things that comes in with stuff like that, as far as from the federal standpoint, when you put a bill out there like that and people like it, they know the other party can't go against it or can't reverse it. People will see it as a bad thing. Even now, they're trying to say, hey, I spend over $5,000 a month on my dog. I should be able to write off a tax for that because I got to buy insurance. I got to bring them to the doctor, make sure their vaccines are up to date. And, people use their dog for their businesses, guard dogs, service animals. That should be in there.
Service animals, yeah, but
Yeah.
the rest of that shit, no.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so? If you have a dog, I know I have a dog, and them vet bills be adding up every month.
It was your choice to go out and buy a dog. Now it's your responsibility to take care of it.
But some people will say the same thing with children. You do have a choice to have children or not.
I mean,
Not saying that, but just saying that.
Yeah, in a broad sense, yeah, you got a choice to have children. But if you don't have children, then what happens to the population? It ain't gonna be if you don't buy a dog, the world is gonna keep on spinning.
A lot of people are definitely for it. A lot of people are definitely for having to be able to have a tax credit for
there's no different. A dog is property. It's just
like
trying to write off your car that you drive to work back and forth to work with.
But you can.
You can do that
to an extent.
Shit, I'm writing mine off.
I do too.
But that's a work vehicle though.
I do write off parts on the vehicle.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Yeah, you can actually write off clothing, anything that pertains to
your clothes, itemized and shit. Yeah, you
can. No, I know all of that, but I'm talking about just that's not. But having a dog is not related directly to work. You can write off things that are directly related to you bringing in an income. Yeah. But you buy a motorcycle on top of your regular car. It's like I don't think that'll apply to that as well. It's like a dog is an optional luxury liability expense that you taking on.
But so is the business. It's an option, but you can still write off business expenses. That's business taxes.
Well, that's an income. That's different.
Just claim that you blind in one eye.
If you got a dog breeding business, then that's different.
What if the dog help you? No, I'm blind in one eye.
I think I'm leaving out too much.
That's why I said because a service animal I feel like that's a little different.
Yeah, a service animal. Yeah, but I feel like I'm leaving out because now people do have businesses with their dog, with this social media, whether it's a guard dog or you're paying for training services. Like there's definitely a whole conversation that's going on. I don't know about cats. Cats is a whole nother thing, but then
I'm pretty sure that there's a rich person out there some way trying to find that's figured out a way to write off their dog expenses.
But not like dog.
I know somebody, quote unquote, that wrote off 2 birds, parakeets. So anything is possible.
Yeah, like the people people really love their dog. They're considered a family member.
My dog.
They have funerals. They have. It's a lot that goes into it. Birthdays.
No, I love dogs. I want a dog, but I'm being responsible and waiting until I can afford to take care of the dog the way that I know that I want to take care of the dog, and the dog deserves to be taken care of. And when that comes with insurance, that comes with saving up for vet bills, and that comes with food and all that other stuff.
All that now,
so it's just like, hey, if you can afford that stuff, then you probably shouldn't have a dog.
Cool.
Yeah.
And not be trying to write it off.
I lose my drugs a lot. I need my dog to help me find them.
Man, like dogs are picky eaters too. That they be they know when you upset, but we getting too in deep. We gonna go.
Shit. Conversation.
It's dogs. We still got time.
No, we can wrap it up. 9:30.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna come back to that.
Oh yeah, well, no,
we're gonna come back to.
And we need to come back to that Matrix discussion that you had brought up earlier because there's been some weird things.
Oh yeah, I got in my notes.
I'm gonna put them in my notes.
But I know that was gonna be a whole other hour.
Yeah,
no, definitely. At least that'll give us an aim for the next show. But all right, y'all.
All right.
Some more bad shit is gonna happen before we get back.
I'm pretty sure it is. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all of that. And holla at you later. Peace.
Y'all want to stay for the after show?